Welcome back to the Loading Up Podcast. I'm your host, Brother Zay. Tonight is with me, Producer J.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, man?
It's been a while. I know we did the live stream, but
yeah, it feels every time we do a break where we do a live stream or for the Game Awards, it feels like we've been gone for so long.
it's because there's so much to talk about since the last time we did the podcast. So
yeah,
it feels like it's been forever. But
definitely. So before we get into it, let's just say this. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Wherever you guys are, wherever you enjoy your podcast, just hit the like, subscribe, or even rate us if you're listening on Spotify or Apple. We appreciate all your likes, your subs, all your hard-earned, all our hard-earned work being listened to you guys. You know, it's just fun. It's fun to do this, and that helps us out.
Yes, we enjoy the interactions. We enjoy the likes, and keep at it.
And join the Discord.
Oh, yes, we did start that. We got a Discord
join the
going.
Discord.
It'll be in our description. You can check it out there.
Perfect. All right, so tell me, what have you been playing?
So I've been a busy person this past few weeks. So I mentioned it on the podcast or on the live stream actually, that I finally beat the first Metal Gear Solid. I did all the VR training missions. I did everything, and I am done with that game.
Nice.
And I made it a point because I was like, okay, I know like my backlog is piling up, but I did start some games, so I want to finish them. So I got back into Spider-Man, and I finally finished it and platinumed it.
Hey, congratulations!
Look at that. So I
finishing
did that.
games. Oh.
I know. Look at that. What is this? Who am I? But that I enjoyed the game. I still feel the same way I felt when I first started playing it. Like, it's a great game. It's fun to play, but similar to like God of War Ragnarok, it's safe. Like, it didn't do anything special, but it didn't do anything bad. So it's like, it was a good game.
I honestly feel like if it would have been even better if Peter Parker would have died.
No, damn, going dark on us.
Yes. I mean, they're going the way of just using Miles anyway, right?
Yeah, they did say Miles is going to be the main Spider-Man going forward. I think, honestly, Spider-Man 3 is probably going to be where that happens if it happens.
Yeah.
But we know that there's probably going to be DLC. If you played the game, you know there's some cliffhangers left to be played out. So I think the DLC is probably going to answer some of that. I won't spoil anything, but it's a great game. I had fun with it.
Yeah.
But speaking of God of War, and it's funny because I originally, once I planned on doing Spider-Man 2 and then jumping back into Starfield. But then God of War Ragnarok DLC came out. Yes. And I recorded it for the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see. And I was like, this is actually kind of fun. So I've been playing that, and now I'm back on God of War. So I'm gonna finish that.
That's really good. PlayStation players need a game to play.
Yeah, honestly, I was shocked because when they first announced it, I mean, DLC is fine. You know, that we kind of knew there was rumors and speculation about DLC for God of War, but the fact that it's free is the crazy part because that's very much unlike Sony to do. They easily could have charged $10 for this, and I would have paid it because it's. I mean,
they could have charged $20.
Probably.
They could have charged $20, honestly.
The amount of story and gameplay and like new cutscenes and stuff like that, it's because it's a roguelike, but it also plays a pivotal role going forward. And I mean, I haven't beat it yet, but I'm sure it's gonna be something important going into the next game, or maybe because they even hinted that maybe there might be even more DLC. But it's very important, and if you're into the God of War lore, you definitely want to check this out. But it's also fun, and that's why I'm probably gonna just finish it out because and there's actually it's a running joke, like the whole Christopher Judge saying that his speech was longer than Call of Duty campaign. Apparently, this DLC is also longer than the Call of Duty campaign. It's like 6 or 7 hours.
That's
But
kind of crazy.
yeah, so now I've been playing that, and I guess once I'm done with that, maybe I'll go back to Starfield
Yeah.
finally. But my goal of completing Starfield before the end of the year is probably not gonna happen. But
I mean, that's good. It's fun, and that's what we need. More fun things to play.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So what have you been playing, Zay?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. Game Pass is just the gift that keeps on giving, and it's just too much sometimes. So it came out just last week. It's Wild Iron's Hot, and I didn't think I was gonna like it. So let me just try it out, and I actually really like it. And I'm just playing it. You're playing as a blacksmith in like this new town, and you have to just do jobs for people. It's a silly little indie game, but it's really fun. I've also been playing Ghost Simulator 3, which is just hella
Oh, that
fun.
did come out. Yeah.
Yeah, that came out so fun. I've been playing um
You're playing so
Avatar.
much you forgot.
Yeah, exactly. I've been playing Avatar, and
Oh,
that is actually really fun. I was playing it today with Ron and my buddy Ron, and he's was showing me the ropes because the game kind of tells you a little bit what to do and then just tosses you out into the world of Pandora.
yeah.
So he was playing more than me. We were, we partnered up. We were just flying around. It was absolutely fun. I was having a blast with it. So it's really fun. And I've also been playing Baldur's Gate 3 on the Xbox because after the Game Awards, they, shadow dropped it on
Yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah,
And
and
I immediately,
apparently they were supposed to announce it, but because of the
yeah,
whole time limit of speeches, they just forgot.
yeah. I mean, in fairness, it was probably a lot for him he wanted to say and
Yeah.
do, but he just forgot. It's all right because me, my buddies Ron and Bray, we were all playing it on Xbox and we're having a blast. We were playing it like all day Sunday and we got nowhere, but it's so fun. Like we're not that far. We're still in Act 1. We're only level 4, but we're just having a really fun time playing it. It's like I'm the owner of the game, so like I own the session. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm in charge of all the saves and everything, and it's it's been fun, because it's like we don't save often.
Yeah.
We can lose stuff, and or if we die, we're screwed. We have to do a bunch of stuff over again.
That's the one
Um,
thing that like I've heard that people don't like, and I don't know if Larian said they'll address it where the host thing, like I know like that's how they do their multiplayer, but it would be cool if you can save like your character from a different play session. I don't know how much work goes into that, but it would be cool if they could add that somehow.
I mean, it's still fun. We're having a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we walked into a dungeon. We knew we weren't supposed to be there, but we went in there anyway. There's giant spiders that can teleport all around. We're thinking we're gonna die, and some of us did, but we actually beat all the spiders and ended up getting out of there. I thought I was gonna have to reload the save several times.
Damn.
It's a mess, but it was fun. It was absolutely a blast. So I'm having a blast with that. So that's what I've been playing. Just a bunch of games.
I'm probably gonna get Baldur's Gate 3 soon because
Oh,
I recently got my fiance into D&D, and
okay.
so far she enjoyed it. We only did one session, but I feel like playing this would be kind of like an extracurricular stuff, and it's split screen, so it would make it even more fun. So it's probably gonna be in my hands sooner or later.
Okay.
That'll be my
Yeah,
co-op game.
your co-op game. Yeah, that's what we're doing. When all three of us are on, we're gonna jump on and play that.
Right.
Yeah. But
Now,
that's it. That's what I've been
can
playing.
you, one question, I
Yeah,
mean, maybe you might not even know.
maybe
If,
not.
let's say, if you're in the middle of a campaign,
Uh-huh.
would I be able to join it, or is it you have to start at the beginning
No, you
with
should
it?
be able to join. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
And
for real?
you can, if I'm not mistaken, you can. You will have to join in, but you will have to take over an NPC, not your own custom character.
Ah, okay.
That's the
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, because we already started the game. We're not, we already started with us and our characters. So
Right.
you can absolutely join. You would just have to, take over one of the NPCs,
That's
which for most people shouldn't be a problem. A lot of the NPCs are amazing. You would have your pick of the litter because we have 3 custom characters. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So you
Okay.
can literally pick anybody, whoever you want to play, and you can play that person.
Well, that's pretty
Um,
cool.
just know that let's say if you do that and you pick an NPC that, like, say, I want to romance, it's gonna be a little weird.
Well, I got you. All
Yeah, so
right.
I mean, we can. I guess we could jump right into the news because there's quite a bit to talk about.
Yes. Before we do that, though, I did want to get your thoughts on the Grand Theft Auto reveal because
That's right.
I know I did a quick save about it and
You
I gave my
did. It was
thoughts.
great. Uh-huh.
But you never got to give your thoughts. So what do you think about it? Like, what's your initial reaction? And now that the time has passed, it's been like 2 weeks.
Yep.
So, well, no, not 2 weeks. Almost a little over a week. How do you feel about it?
I feel. I'm really excited for it. I really want to play this game. I know people are saying like, oh, but they're going back to Vice City, but it's not the same Vice City we've played before. This is completely different. Rockstar is gonna do the city justice. It's gonna actually look like you're there. The same way, what is it? In GTA 5, it looks just like California.
Right.
You're gonna have exactly what it looks like
Like the
and
landmark.
the landmarks and everything. They even show comparisons from Vice City original to GTA 6 and how different it is.
Yeah, I saw those too.
Yeah, so I feel like it's gonna be one of those games that we're gonna be playing for another 10 years.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those, and they're gonna charge whatever they're gonna charge for it. Everybody knows we're gonna pay for it anyway because we've been waiting a decade. We'll be waiting over a decade by the time it officially releases.
Yeah.
They could
2025.
Yeah, they could charge $150. Then people know they're gonna pay it.
Oof, why are you giving them ideas?
I mean, they already got the ideas. The ideas are already out there. It's not coming from me. I'm just repeating it.
Yeah.
I do like it. I don't have any issues with it. Not even the people I see people online that they have issues with the main character.
Oh boy.
And they have issues with some of the side characters and like the gangs and stuff. But I'm like, what do they expect? It's GTA. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have gangs, you're gonna have gang members, you're gonna have crime, you're gonna have strip clubs, you're gonna have all this stuff. You're gonna have everything that is bad in society is gonna be in GTA.
Yeah, I mean that's always been the case.
Exactly. It is GTA. This is not gonna be some hold my hand, kumbaya kind of game. This is Grand Theft Auto. If you're not into that, that's cool. You don't have to be into that. You don't have to play it. You don't have to buy it. But don't try and get it banned or blocked or all this other stuff. Just because
that's always gonna happen. That's always gonna happen. Like there's always gonna be the crowds like, oh, ban GTA or whatever. But it's like it's not. You're just gonna give it more attention, if anything.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about one thing though that you mentioned about the complaints about the main character, Lucia. How the people are complaining, oh, it's too woke. Like, why is it a Hispanic lady? It should have been a white girl. Like, I literally saw someone saying, yeah, that quick, like 3-second clip of the girl with the American bra on who was like in the mud or whatever. It's just somebody said like, oh, that should be the main character. And I was like, people really dislike the idea of Lucia, a Hispanic woman, being a main character in a Grand Theft Auto game, that they're saying it should be a white girl or a white person. Well, it's hilarious because it's gone complete full circle that people are now complaining that a minority is the main character of a game named after a felony. Like, isn't that what you've been saying about them? Like, you say that, oh, that's what minorities do. That's what these Latinos and black people do. They commit crimes. Now we have a main character that is Hispanic, and you're complaining about that too? Like, come on, you can't have it both ways. Like, it's literally the name of a felony. relax, and it's just a game. It's not real life. Go play something else.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those people they want it their way. They are they're showing their racism.
Pretty much.
That's what it is.
That's all it
That's what it
is.
is. They don't want to play as a black person or Hispanic person or any person of color. They want to play as a white person, which is why they probably played as Trevor throughout the whole GTA 5.
Trevor or Michael.
Yeah. So, I mean, but you know what? You're gonna, like you said, you're gonna have those people who are gonna complain, and it is what it is. It is what it is. And Lucia, she's gonna kick ass as the main character. She's gonna kick ass, and they're gonna be pissed.
Yes,
and I'm gonna love every second of it while I'm playing GTA 6.
Yeah, for the people who are saying, "Oh, the GTA has gone woke," good. I hope it goes woke. I hope it goes so far the other way that it pisses you off, because that's gonna make us laugh.
Yeah,
because they're the ones that are gonna get made fun of in the game.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. But that's always been the case. GTA has never strayed away from making fun of American society as a whole.
Yep.
Not just the left or the right, just everybody. They make fun of everybody.
Everybody's equal opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So for them to just come out saying they've gone woke, it's absolutely silly.
It is.
It hasn't gone woke. It's just making fun of society as a whole.
Exactly.
So I mean, if they don't want to play it, that's good. Less toxic, racist people that will be on GTA 6.
Exactly.
It's fine by me.
Hey, we could get into the news now.
Yes, news. All right,
there's a lot of it.
Yeah, we're gonna start with E3 has officially been canceled. It is dead. No more. The ESA, the Entertainment Software Association, has the promoter Repop announced late Thursday that they planned the June event is just done. It's canceled. It's been 4 years in a row. Due to COVID, they stopped, doing live shows or in-person shows, and ever since then, they haven't done one. I can't say this is surprising because it's been a long time coming. A lot of people been pulling out of the E3s before COVID, so it was sort of like on the ropes. It was gonna happen. What do you think?
No, I'm right there with you. I saw the writing on the wall. Apparently a lot of people saw the writing on the wall. Yeah. I remember I just saw an interview where they were saying, even in 2019 before COVID, that they feel like this might be the last one, because the vibe was just very different. Like you said, a lot of people pulled out. Nintendo, they weren't really there. I mean, Xbox was there, but they were doing it like separate from it. Like they still were like on the convention floor, but their press conference was in a different building. Yeah. EA left a while ago. Sony left, and I think maybe Ubisoft was still there. But a lot of people pulled out of E3. I don't know the reason. I'm sure it's because of money. I mean, that's what it
most
really
likely
comes down to.
Yeah.
They just weren't seeing enough return on the investment that they make into putting like these E3 shows on. And they probably just thought it was easier to just do their own thing like Nintendo did. So yeah, I get it, and it sucks because I used to look forward to. I actually wanted to go one time. That was like one of my bucket list type things, to go one year. But now, I mean, it's so. I honestly think it's probably officially like dead. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's dead forever. I think it's going to be dead just for a long time. I think we'll see something come back. I don't know if it's going to be called E3, but it's probably going to be another convention around the same time that's going to feel like E3. That's basically going to take its place. I don't know if that's going to be Summer Games Fest, because Summer Games Fest is really just a show. Yeah. But maybe Jeff Keighley will be able to expand now that he has the space, now that he's able to do that, although I feel like after the Game Awards, people won't be happy about that. But it will be good to have something for like fans and the press to just come together. Because even the whole Game Awards stuff aside, like people really enjoy having an event to go to meet up with colleagues, friends throughout the gaming industry. And I feel like we need something like that.
Do
And
we?
I think so. I like conventions. I go to Comic-Con every year. But I think it's good to be around like-minded people. And it's supposed to be like a celebration. Like for whatever Jeff Keighley says about the Game Awards, the conventions are really the real celebration of games, because that's where you get around people who are enthusiastic about the new things that were announced. I think honestly it was just a money thing, and I do, like I said, I do think it'll come back. It just probably won't be E3. It'll be something else. But it just sucks too, because it's an end of an era. Like I remember I used to get excited. I used to call off work to watch E3. It was that like much of a ritual to me, because that was when the game announcements happened. I feel like game announcements happen every friggin' month, so it really doesn't matter. You don't need a dedicated show in June.
Well, I guess that just it's sort of like it comes to an era where we don't really need these giant big conventions to celebrate and or even announce things anymore, especially with the rise of social media and how it's played a big part in advertising toward certain markets. E3 doesn't necessarily need to happen in order for that same feeling that you want about E3. Like you said, we have Summer's Game Fest, Xbox does a showcase, PlayStation does their PlayStation Direct. Sure, it's not the same. It's not like you're going to a convention and are with, like you said, like-minded people who want to just talk about games or be a part of the community. It's a different era now than it was when it first started in '95.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would come back. I think it would just evolve into something where it's more digital, and or like you said, maybe Jeff Keighley can do something with his immense power now with his game awards.
He won.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see exactly what happens if that happens. But for right now, E3 is definitely officially dead.
E3, the name E3 is dead. I don't think that's coming back ever. And it's an end of an era, but we have to move on.
Yeah, we do. And we'll move on to the next news.
Okay.
This one happened, I think it was a couple weeks ago. It happened literally a week ago, where PlayStation has decided to take away the digital content from Discovery from all PlayStation players. So if you purchase any digital content from Discovery, PlayStation was revoking that away from you, even though you paid for it. And it just really comes down to we don't own anything that's digital. If these companies want to pull it for licensing rights or agreements or anything that they feel like it, they could just take it away from you, which really, really sucks in an ever-increasing digital world.
Yeah. No, this whole thing sparked it has less to do with the actual content itself, because like really nobody really cares about the Discovery stuff. It's just
hold up. That is egregious. How could you say that?
You don't even know what they pulled. I bet you could even name them.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. It's more about the whole aspect of digital content being taken away from you that you paid for. And honestly, I get that argument, and that's why a lot of people are saying, oh, like, this is why physical, you need to buy physical and stuff like that. I get it. However, I will say that, well, one, this is only happening to PlayStation. You can buy the Discovery content on other platforms still, and nothing, it's still there. It's not gonna, well, I don't know if it's not gonna disappear, but this is only affecting PlayStation. So I feel like people are missing that point. Like, I feel like we need to, or maybe we don't need to, but something should come out about what kind of contract that Sony had with Discovery that is basically forcing them to revoke those purchases. because this is the first time anything like this has happened.
Yeah.
At least to like
At least on this
extent.
scale.
Yeah, on this
Yeah.
scale. Because like there's been like 1 or 2 things that get revoked, but like if you still have it downloaded, you could still watch it or still play it. Like with the whole PT stuff. That was pulled off the store, but if you had it on the PlayStation, you could still play it. So that's always been the case. But never like just completely taken away from you, like even after you pay without a refund. Like that's one of a kind, and that's very, very like bad news. But I think what another thing that people need to focus on too is this should spark more legislation regarding these types of contracts. There should be a fixed rule for all digital content, because I know everybody says, oh, just get physical. No, because we're already heading into a digital world, a digital future. So going back to physical is not going to fix the problem. It's just going to make it much worse, because now these companies are going to be able to control that much more of the digital content as the physical aspect disappears. Like we already talked about Best Buy and I think Walmart too, that they're going to stop selling digital copies or digital media, or physical media rather.
Yeah, it's Best Buy that was going to stop selling physical media. Walmart said they still have it.
Oh, okay. So, but it's already happening. Best Buy is starting. So that's just the reality of the situation. So we need to focus more on getting proper legislation to make sure that our rights as consumers are protected with these digital content, because we should not have, like, it's one thing you want to take it off the store, fine, whatever, but to revoke it completely after you paid for it, that cannot happen. That is not good.
And then with no refunds, just taking it away. Like you purchase, let's say you purchased this set for $50, this Discovery set of some Discovery show. Right, let's say it's like Shark Week or something. Like you purchased all of Shark Week. It's $50. It was a great deal. Next thing you know, Sony's like, nope, we're taking it from you, and no, there's no refund. No, you can't do anything about it because you're part of it's part of our TOS.
Yeah,
but that's absolutely insane.
Exactly, that should never be a part of the TOS. And the fact that it is what's the problem. It's the real problem.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully the industry gets a good look at this, and hopefully nothing like this ever happens again. But honestly, we're gonna start seeing more and more of it. Hopefully it's not as bad as this, though. Like like you said, on the scale of this. But I said, I think we just need to focus more on just the digital purchasing rights, as opposed to just let's go back to physical.
Definitely. You definitely hit the nail on the head, though, because this is only Sony. And I feel like if this happened on Xbox, people will be
end of the world.
Livid. It
end
would be
of the world.
Over. We wouldn't even stop hearing about it. And we went a week without even talking about this, or even mentioning, even on our socials.
I mean,
and nobody's even talking about this anymore.
Nope.
I mean, I get it. It's just Discovery stuff, like you said. But the fact that they can actually do this is the real problem, and nobody's talking about it. Sony's just getting away with this. They swept it under the rug, and they're hiding it, and it's like, yep, we're fine. And it sucks. Consumers have to speak out against these type of practices.
Yeah, it's the like you said, it's the practice that is what the issue is. Not the fact that it happened, it's just that Sony let it happen.
Yeah, and they let it happen in the most egregious way.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on before we get upset more. So this one is a crazy one, especially for families, for fathers and mothers out there who they watch Twitch streams. So Twitch has a new sexual content guidelines update to include and allow artistic, and this is in air quotes, artistic nudity after a viral topless stream. So someone went viral. It was on Twitch. They were topless, and they came out and said it was their artwork. So Twitch had to allow it. Now Twitch is allowing all types of artwork, including but not limiting to drawings of sexual content, like hentai type stuff, and it's really bad. And I say that it's really bad because children can use Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Children can use Twitch, and I know I hate to say this, because it's like the parents should be monitoring what the children watch, absolutely, but it doesn't always happen. And to allow Twitch just change their rules to allow this after banning people for just walking into a bathroom, let's say, this is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So here's my thoughts on it. I kind of understand where they're coming from. However, if they're gonna do this, because the whole artistic nudity shit, like whatever. If that's the route they want to take, fine. But they need to absolutely crack down on the content creators that are doing that stuff and separate it from everything else. Because right now, everything is just a free-for-all on Twitch. Everything gets promoted at the same rate or the same way, whatever. Like, I just don't want to log into Twitch and I see somebody streaming Minecraft and then right next to them, somebody that's topless. Like, that shouldn't happen. And the crazy part is that they're making this change, but they're not changing the age range to create a Twitch account. Like, if this is what they want to do, you need to update that, because right now you just need to be 13 to make a Twitch account.
Yep.
That's the problem. Because if you want to make this Twitch, like if this is what you want to make this this is what you want your platform to be, fine. But you have to do it wholesale. Don't just do like little bits and pieces and just capitalize on like little kids getting horny and clicking on the woman who doesn't have a shirt on. Like, no, that's the wrong part. And I feel like they're trying to shy away from that, and they're trying to downplay that, because that's how they get money. Let's be honest. Like, that's how they get money. They get the clicks. That's why they never, I mean, up until recently, they were having the freaking the hot tub time. I was thinking hot tub time machine.
Yeah,
hot tub streams where they were just barely naked in the hot tub.
Yep.
And that was like skyrocketing to the top of Twitch charts. And it's like, they were letting it happen. It wasn't until people started complaining that they were just like, oh, like they tiptoed around it, and then they started banning people, or they changed their policy. I feel like Twitch just doesn't know what it wants to do. And I think it really needs to or just create a whole separate streaming service for it. Maybe like Twitch X, I don't know, Twitch Adult, Twitch at Dark, something.
They can literally put it into a 18 plus, like section.
Yeah, section. So anybody who has an underage account, I mean, granted, those can easily be bypassed. Like that really doesn't stop people, unless they really want to like.
There.
Exactly. It still needs to be there in place, because every other site has it. You need to be 18 plus.
Yeah.
To create this account if it has adult content or mature content. So yeah, I think, and also have parental controls in place, because children use Twitch. So it's like, I feel like it's always half measures with Twitch. It's like they react to complaints and they don't think it through. They just do, and then they wait for the next complaint, and then they fix that, and then they fix the next thing. And it's like, I get annoyed when I see stuff like this, because it's like, why would you just be reactionary? Just sit down, figure out a game plan, then do it. Like, why is it that you're trying to like just do things on a knee-jerk reaction and then seeing what sticks? Like, I don't know. I mean, I've heard a lot of stuff about like Twitch and like their execs being very like too laid back at that. And yeah, I've heard like horror stories regarding like streamers on there, and like the ones who like move from Twitch to even Kick. It's crazy how Kick seems like a better place to stream now. But
that's crazy.
I know, and they promote gambling.
I mean, not just gambling, everything. They don't.
Yeah, right wing content, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I just think they need to, if they're gonna do this move, they need to do it Full stop. Don't do half measures, because that's what this is. This is a half measure.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, they need to do something, especially if they can just allow it. Something has to happen.
Yeah, or like age gate it, if like, or just don't show it. Don't advertise it. I mean, I haven't seen it advertised, thank God, but I don't want my kids to see that.
Yeah, I don't go on Twitch enough like that in order to see it advertised. So, but still, it not
used
cool.
to. I know that was like one of the complaints. That was the hot tub stuff. It was being advertised on the front page.
Because making the money.
Yeah, that's all they care about.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to something we've reported on before, and I'll come out and say we're probably one of the first ones to report on it, but now it's officially been confirmed by the developers themselves. Naughty Dog came out today, and they released a big statement saying that Factions 2, the Last of Us multiplayer game, is officially canceled. They did come out with a really good reasoning. They want to focus mostly on their single player aspect, their campaign games, because that's what they're known for. All their games are all campaign. Most of them. The Last of Us did have a Factions, but Part 2 didn't. I think they realized that with Factions 2, it was too much for them to go to live service. So they're just gonna cancel it, let it be what it is, and focus either on a new IP or their continuation of single player games, because they just weren't getting the live service right. And although it sucks for Faction fans, I think this is the right move, because these developers, Naughty Dog is not really a live service type of developer. I don't think it's fair to thrust that upon them and then come out with a half-baked, crappy game.
Yeah.
So although Factions 2 is canceled, I'm kind of happy it is.
Yeah, it's for the better. We've heard we've seen so many instances of live services just not being what they were promised at the start, and then some of them just straight up die. Some of them eventually get better, but those, like, they stuck it through the mud, and it's not always a guarantee that they're going to be successful. So I think Sony's mistake was what like the same thing with Anthem, the same thing with Avengers. They took a studio known for single player content and single player games and tried to make them do a live service game. That's never a good idea, because they just don't know what it's like to keep up with that kind of content. Some can adapt, like we've seen Respawn do it with Apex. We've seen even Bungie. Bungie sort of. They've been through a lot recently. I mean, we'll talk more about them in a little bit. But 343 is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
With Halo Infinite now, they struggled in the beginning, but now they're in a better place.
But they stuck with it.
They stuck with it.
Yes.
So, but what I'm saying is that some studios can do it. Yeah. Others can't. And I think Sony made a mistake with trying to force Naughty Dog into making live service game. What they should have done is hired an outside studio to make Factions with the assistance of Naughty Dog, so that way they can focus on their single player stuff. Because that's really what they said, why they canceled it, because they realized if they wanted to do this, they would have to basically become a live service studio, and that's not what they wanted to do. So it was a good call. It was for the better, like I said. I think they could have salvaged it if they brought in a third-party studio to help them and work on it. And I think maybe it was more of like they sunk a lot of money into it, and they just rather cut their losses than have it be a failure. Yeah. So, I mean, we even reported on it before with the whole Bungie basically saying that it wasn't up to standard. And once that happened, we knew that, this is probably not going to end well. It just sucks too. Like you said, like, people were looking forward to this. I was very curious about it. I wouldn't have said that it would have been like something at the top of my list that I wanted to play, but I would have tried it out if it was something that was unique. But that's the thing. You have to have this like planned out, years of content planned out, and it's like it's really hard to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even with the setting of Last of Us, like I don't we joked about it before, but it's like how much content could you really squeeze out of that? Like yeah, if we're gonna be seeing like rainbow guns and and emotes like like friggin' the what was it, all the floss, or like all these like Fortnite dances or whatever, like that's what it would eventually come to. And it's like you
and the gritty.
yeah, you want the you want the gritty. But yeah, it's like I said, it's probably for the better, and hopefully they can not have it go completely to waste and just reuse the content that they did make for a potential sequel. Because we've heard that part 3 is currently being worked on, so maybe they can, shift to that. And I think, or no, that's not Naughty Dog. I'm thinking of a different studio.
Yeah.
I don't know what other games they're working on, but we did hear a rumor that Last of Us Part 3 is being worked on currently. So, yeah, it sucks, but at least it's one less live service game that we have to worry about.
Thank God. I feel like though, if they would have just released it like a multiplayer instead of like a live service type of thing, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't
it didn't
think
have
it's
to be
enough anymore. That's the problem. In the landscape of live service, just straight up multiplayer, not enough.
I mean, it would have at least made the game last a lot longer. They wouldn't have to worry about working on a remaster of a remaster. They can just, slightly update, tweak, the multiplayer. It doesn't have to be live service. It could just be the multiplayer, And I feel like that's where people mess up, because the first Last of Us game had factions. It wasn't live service. It was just the multiplayer. You were going out there as a random character, and you just shooting each other, just fighting, So I feel like they messed up trying to go to live service.
Of course. But that's what Sony wanted. That's the thing. They want live service. They want at least one to be successful. So I don't think a multiplayer would.
It takes years and millions upon millions of dollars to do this.
Yep.
And Sony doesn't have that kind of capital or time.
I think that's what it is. It's just the time. Like, they probably could have sunk more money into it, but they want it now. They don't want it 3 years from now.
Yeah. They're trying to capitalize on what Fortnite and Sea of Thieves, Minecraft is doing. It's just they can't.
They can't. Well, it's not gonna happen as soon as they want it to, because they still have live service games coming. It's just much less now.
Yeah. Oh man, and then we're getting into a little bit of some soul crushing
bad news. News. all this news is so disheartening.
It is. We'll start with some of the newer ones. Embracer has shut down Free Radical. They closed it down. Just over 80 people. It's just 2 years after being revived by Embracer, Free Radical is now shut down, and it's just it's terrible year for developers. It really is.
Like, we thought we were over it. But no, they just keep happening.
It keeps happening. And this was 2 days ago that Free Radical got shut down by Embracer. And then today, Embracer goes ahead and shuts down 2 more, or at least lay off 2 more, lay off a bunch of people from 2 more studios at Embracer. So 3D Realms is the other studio that was hit with layoffs today. It's just a madhouse. Embracer is just seems to be falling out of the seams. It's just no good over there.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening. It's absolutely insane to me that a company can just, all right, that's it, you're all gone. We lost $2 billion from this crappy deal that we did at the board. Now everybody's just starting to lose their job. It's like, what happened?
I want to know, like, what is going on over at Embracer, because even like a decade ago, what we knew of Embracer, I mean, before they were Embracer, they were THQ Nordic.
Yeah.
They were just buying up IPs, studios, all these like things they were just acquiring, but then they didn't really do anything with them. So it's like, what is the purpose of buying all this stuff and building these studios to make these games that are never going to release? They've released a few, but it was always too not so stellar like reception, especially like with Saints Row. Like that completely fell flat.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other examples that I can't really name off the top of my head. But they've had some successes. They've had Remnant 2 is one of their successes, but it's like they're few and far between. So, and this whole Saudi deal that fell through, like, was it really that bad? Like, was that... I don't understand how your entire company, studios, were hinging on this deal happening to the point where when it fell through, like, you just had to shut down. Like, Volition got shut down. Now we got Free Radical, and it's like, who's next? That's what it's coming down to. Who's the next studio that's gonna shut down?
Yeah.
And it's pretty, like, it's scary.
It's scary.
Really scary for these developers.
Right before the holidays. Absolutely
Yeah.
scary.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that part.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. You know, and these board of directors, these CEOs, the record profits, as we can see, you know, because they're publicly traded companies, we see you making billions of dollars, millions upon millions a day. We see you making all this money, and then that's supposed to be turning around so that way we can make more money. We're making great games, but no, you just, let's make even more money by cutting staff, destroying lives, and closing studios. That's not, when we talk about 2023 and how many games came out, how much of a great year it was for games, you have to talk about how terrible it was to be a video game developer, because so many people have lost their jobs. I think it's now 10,000 people over the course of all 2023 have lost their jobs being a video game developer. Absolutely scary time out there. And we have these developers, they have to get together. They have to unionize to save yourselves.
Yes.
They've saved the gaming industry, because you can't just have these companies and these board of directors and CEOs just come out and just play with your lives after you've made them millions of dollars. It's absolutely insane.
And I also wonder, like, if they're really hurting for money, like, why not just sell off the studio? Like, I'm sure there's people publishers out there that would want to buy these studios, like even like a Crystal Dynamics or like one of the bigger ones that they have. Like, why not sell that off? Like, it doesn't make sense why they're shutting off the studio. It's like they're trying to trim the fat, but it's like you can make money off of it instead of just throwing it away. So I don't know. It sucks.
I think, like you said, though, they bit off more than they can chew. We're buying so much early on,
Yeah.
you know, and then not having enough content come out to replenish that. They really were banking on that $2 billion from Saudi Arabia, and that's a shame. I mean, you always say, "Oh, it's only $2 billion," but $2 billion. I don't think people understand how much money $1 billion is.
That's
let
a lot.
alone $2 billion. Any amount in the B's are absolutely insane.
Yes.
You know, so that deal fell through. That means everybody's up on the chopping block. And if you work at Embracer, prepare yourselves, because it is not a fun time.
Yeah, if I was a developer for Embracer, I definitely would start looking for somewhere else to go to, because it's only a matter of time at this point.
Absolutely, which is really sad. And then we reported that Bungie had massive layoffs as well. And now it's being reported that the atmosphere of all the people who are left at Bungie, they're calling it soul crushing, which is on par. I mean, you just saw your coworkers, your people that you've been working with for the past 15 to 20 years, some of them completely gone. You don't know entirely why, and now you're working in what you feel is a hostile work environment.
Yeah.
You know, it really sucks.
And now Bungie is apparently facing the potential of being just completely absorbed by PlayStation Studios, which is something that they wanted to avoid. That they did not. The whole point was to be separate, to be underneath Sony, but separate from PlayStation. That's why Marathon is releasing on Xbox and PC, and that's they wanted to remain like independent. They can have the relation with Sony and like marketing and stuff like that, but ultimately they wanted to remain independent, and that's potentially gonna be going away if their next DLC or expansion doesn't live up to expectations. And that's part of the soul crushing aspect of it, that they just their jobs are on the line. Like they want to be able to be independent, but that might not last much longer.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Like to just to think about it, you know, that all these people basically suffering, and some of them are in silence, suffering in silence because of like the decisions that are being made at the top. It's really sad.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, was this acquisition even worth it for Sony?
Yeah.
Maybe to them it's worth it because they'll still, even if they absorb it, they'll still have Bungie, so they can pump out exclusives or whatever. But it sucks for Bungie. Because if that happens, a lot of people are just gonna leave.
Yep.
And the Bungie that was before is not gonna be the same.
Yeah. And the last of the sort of studios closing, you know, it's that trend. The developers for the day before, Fantastic, are shutting down 4 days after releasing the day before. Their developers are completely shutting down, and it just for this particular game, it's actually, and for this particular developer, it's like they did it to themselves.
Yeah.
They posted all these fake videos of what the game was going to be like 2 years ago. Everybody was super hype about the game, and then they kept delaying it and delaying it and delaying it and not updating the community. They just kept delaying it, and then all of a sudden it's releasing in early access on Steam, and people buying it because they're hyped. They seen what it could be, and then next thing you know, the game is absolutely atrocious. Everywhere, the game's not functioning properly. The Steam reviews for this game before they delisted the game, because Steam eventually delisted the game and they refunded people. It was overwhelmingly negative. It was absolutely insane. And the videos online that I've seen for this game, it really was a scam. I feel like this whole game was a scam.
I knew it from the first time I saw it. I was like, there's no way they're going to be able to accomplish this. Like, what they were saying or what they were showing, it looked too good to be true.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of people say, oh, it looks like The Division. That's because it basically was. It was like an asset flip. They were using assets from other games and just putting them together and thinking like, oh, that's it. This is what people want. What's interesting, though, is actually, I just remembered this piece of information. So, Fantastic, the developer of this game, they did shut down, but they're not gone. So what they did was they shut down, quote unquote, Fantastic, and they changed their name to another name. They're called 8 Points now.
8 Points?
Yeah. So basically they said, oh, we're gonna shut down, but they didn't really shut down. They just changed their name.
Really?
Yeah. I just remembered that aspect of it, and it was like, this is gonna happen again because people are not gonna. This news, it slipped through the cracks. Nobody's really talking about this part, and they're gonna probably release another game, and it's gonna be the same thing. That's gonna be living up to or not living up to expectations. So it's just really crazy how they pretty much are getting away with it, essentially. You said the Steam refunded people, so I guess
the Steam didn't listed the game and they're refunding people, even if you played over the set time that Steam has allowed for. I think it's hours.
Would they have to ask for a refund, or is it just automatic?
You know what? Don't know and didn't look into that one, but because I didn't want to go anywhere near this.
Yeah, no,
I was like, my Steam is not going near you.
Yeah.
But it just, it just was really bad. Either way, and if they did, like you said, change their name just to avoid being part of the Fantastic, and that's scummy. That's even more scam stuff going on by these people, and you just can't trust them.
Yeah, I just hope, and it sucks that if this even happened because like you would think there's more of a vetting process for, especially in Steam. I know Steam, they have like the early access stuff, and there's been like or maybe it was Steam Greenlight. I can't remember. I don't know if that's still a thing. But I know there was like some like controversy of a lot of games getting through that shouldn't have been gone through, that they were just like unfinished or very buggy, whatever. You would think that they would do the same thing for this type of game. And it's like, how does this even get released? Like, is there nobody like playing it? Like, I feel like somebody should have seen this coming.
I mean, they did release it in early access, so I guess that was like sort of the
maybe that's what the whole thing was.
Yeah. Even that early access games, technically Fortnite is still early access. You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't I think they did release like they said it's 1.0 now.
Oh,
I know for a while, for years,
it was early access. You know, so
yeah.
You can do early access and still have a game that's out, and you know, obviously, because like Baldur's Gate 3 was in early access for a long time before it was officially released. You know, so it sucks.
Honestly, like it just sucks. When I first saw the game, it looked interesting, but like I said, I just knew they weren't gonna be able to do it. It just looked too good.
When I saw it. When it first was revealed the day before, Brother Matt was super excited. He's like, yo, this game looks sick. It's like, it looks like the Division and like it's, you know, extraction shooter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he showed me the video of it, and I'm like, it's
that first trailer though, it was a little bit weird.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not too interested. And he's like, oh, you're crazy. And then as you know, the years went on, we're both now thinking, okay, this is kind of going, you know, like, why are we here?
Delay again.
It's never coming out. And then it does come out, and then it's a scam.
Yeah. You know what this reminds me of? I mean, granted, this one actually came out, but the whole Abandoned game, you remember that fiasco?
No.
Abandoned. You don't remember? All right, so there was a game.
I remember yesterday, bro.
There was a game that was announced on a PlayStation blog, and it was called Abandoned, and it seemed like a survival horror or some type of horror game, that it was first person, and it was very vague, and they just told you just stay tuned. Like, that's all it was. It was just like a trailer, or a quick like teaser trailer. They told it to stay tuned. And then like a year went by. I think nobody really talked about it, and then like developer was doing interviews saying that it was still under development, and they released another trailer, but they were gonna do it as an interactive trailer. So you had to like download a game or demo, and in the demo it showed the trailer or the new trailer, and the trailer was only a guy walking, and it was just showing his feet. And then people were just like, okay, and there was like so much hype around it, because people thought, maybe it's like a secret Hideo Kojima game, or maybe it's like maybe it's actually Metal Gear Solid, maybe it's a new Silent Hill. Like, people were just going wild with speculation about it. And once they released that trailer, or that walking teaser or whatever, people were upset. It was like, you made us wait all this time just for someone walking. Then they released like an image that was blurred out, and it showed a guy with an eye patch, and people were thinking, oh, is that Solid Snake? Like, it looks like him because of the eye patch. and again, like, people just went wild with their conspiracy theories, and then it just disappeared. Like, nothing ever came out. It was people just stopped talking about it. It was literally abandoned.
No way.
I mean,
why does it seem like everything that Hideo Kojima touches, it gets like the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Boom, wild. It just starts going
'Cause
crazy. What is it?
Because he did it with PT. That's literally all it was. Like the whole PT stuff. That it was when it released. It was just a demo on the PlayStation Store. There was no. I think it was like called. I don't think it even had a developer name. Or maybe it did. I can't remember if it did. But it was just a demo. Nobody really knew what it was. Once you beat it, then you realize it was the Silent Hills. That never released. That got canceled.
Yeah.
But ever since then, anything that is similar in type of like marketing and stuff like that, that's Hideo Kojima. That's it. It's Hideo Kojima.
Wow.
Like so that's why the whole even now like OD that whole thing like people are saying that's PT because I mean granted if you look at the
I heard about the Silent Hill theories on
if you look at the announcement when in the Game Awards he came out of a door with a little light on top. That's literally the door from PT.
Oh my God.
People are speculating that this is probably what PT was or Silent Hills was originally gonna be. We don't know. Probably not. But they're trying to make you think that at least.
That's insane.
And, yeah, it's wild, but that's the thing with Kojima. He likes doing that stuff. Like I remember the lead up to Metal Gear Solid 5. He also released that trailer as a completely different game. It was initially called The Phantom Pain. Like that's what it was revealed as. And then it was quote unquote developed by a new studio called Moby Dick Studio. And people were just speculating like, oh, what is this? Like it's a new thing, but it didn't take long for people to realize it was Metal Gear Solid. But that's the type of thing Kojima does. So anything that is similar to that, they think it's him. And I'm pretty sure that the abandoned game, the developer knew that, and they were trying to capitalize on that. I don't know whatever happened to it. If it's ever gonna come back, I doubt it. But it's, yeah, that's what that. Anyway, that's what this reminded me of. It's just basically, like you said, it's a scam.
All the scam. All the scam.
People keep falling for it. I'm sure another developer is gonna do the same thing. So, and people are gonna fall for it. So,
wow. We'll get to a couple more news articles. Well, this time we're talking about ransomware attacks. This time Sony's Insomniac get hits with it, and the group Residia is asking for $2 million for leaks and screenshots and just all the data that you can get on Insomniac, including for the new game Wolverine. They already posted, some leaks were already posted. It includes screenshots of the game, and people are just deep diving into these leaks and just looking at every single detail so they can try and get a feel for what the game is going to be like. But this is really, really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Especially after, because we talked a little bit about GTA, but the GTA was leaked, and then Rockstar had to like take that down and officially launch it like a day early. And now Insomniac was hit with a ransomware attack where a lot of their data was stolen, and now it's just out there up for sale. This is really bad. This is really, really bad. It's very unfortunate for the developers who worked hard, and they're trying to contain the leak. Who knows what's going to happen? We're probably going to see some more leaks in the coming days because this is not over yet. They're out there still trying to sell all this data. So I mean, they have a week's deadline, and we'll see more. We'll see more of the leaks coming soon, and in a few days actually.
Yeah, I think it sucks, but they're probably just gonna let it leak. Like, there's really nothing they can do. To pay would be to condone that stuff, and it's gonna encourage more people to do that. Like, you can't do that. What's interesting though is the stuff that leaked. I don't know if you saw. So including the Wolverine stuff that got leaked, they also, I mean, inevitably they're working on Spider-Man 3, of course.
Yeah.
But what they're also working on is potentially there was some references to a Spider-Verse video game. So while that is all that sounds good to me, like I'm excited for Wolverine. I like Spider-Man, and I would like a Spider-Verse game.
Video game. Yeah.
Yeah. What's a little concerning, and granted, we don't know if there's anything else that they're working on. Sony seems to have turned Insomniac into the Marvel developer. And it's like, that's cool, but I would like Insomniac to do other stuff as well. Like, because Insomniac is basically like the all-star for Sony. Like, they've been pretty much carrying this generation on their backs for Sony. They released Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and now Spider-Man 2. Now they got Wolverine coming and all these other games that got leaked. But it's like, is that all you're going to have them do? Like, I feel like they should at least have the opportunity to do something different if they want to. And I hope that's not the case. I hope that's what they're working on in addition to other stuff. I just don't want Insomniac to be relegated to just making Marvel games. As good as they are, I would like to see them do other stuff.
Well, we have Bethesda making a Marvel game. So it's
not... But they wanted to do that. That's the thing.
That's true. That is
true.
They
pitched it to Disney and said, we want to do this. It wasn't like, Disney came to them and it's like, you're going to be the, okay, Arcane, you're going to make Marvel games. Like, no.
Yeah.
Blade is what Arcane wanted to do. And that's how I want it to be. I want the developer to actually want to do the game, not the other way around.
Because they'll do it right and they'll do justice.
Exactly.
Although the Spider-Man games have been great.
No, they've been great.
They've been great. They haven't been like absolutely above amazing. Like they've been safe great. It's been
exactly.
Like, they're good.
But I just want them to be able to do, if they want to do other stuff. I don't want it to be, because same thing with Naughty Dog. Like, Naughty Dog apparently is just the Last of Us developer now. Like, forget Uncharted and forget anything other that they want to do. No, they're just Last of Us now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't like this idea of having a developer just be one thing. I want them to be able to branch out if they want to.
Yeah, they have to. I don't know how tight it is at Sony. I don't know how the culture is there, where they can come out and say, listen, we don't really want to make these games. We want to focus on this. And then Sony go ahead and say either yes or no. I don't know the culture there, so we can't say that they should just say that.
True.
Because the culture can be, no, you're making this.
Yeah.
And that's it, which would really suck. Like I said, we don't really know what the culture is there or if they can come out and say anything. If they can, they really should speak up on it. And if they can't, they're just going to be Marvel developers.
It's not the worst thing in the world, but still.
Yeah, it really isn't.
But anyway, regardless, the leaks suck, and I hope there's not much more to leak, and that maybe they just didn't get that much, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right, well, we have one last bit of news article, and it's has to do with Xbox in Japan. And as you know, it's no secret, Xbox struggles with the Japanese market. It always has. It's struggling even this gen. It's getting a little bit better because they have growth spurts with the Series S, it being smaller and compact, as well as Game Pass itself being able to play on a laptop or in the cloud or on your phone, anywhere really you can get Game Pass, you can play it. So they're seeing growth spurts in Japan, and a former PlayStation executive who was actually hired by Xbox, Minakato, he comes out and says Japanese publishers will definitely need Xbox if they're going to be expanding their business. It will be difficult to do that with just PlayStation. She says that, and people need to realize she's absolutely right. PlayStation has a complete and total lock. PlayStation and Nintendo have a lock on the Japanese market. There's not much more room for them to grow. They can't grow more if all that is there is just that market. They have to move to other platforms, to other developers, so that way they can grow more. Their sales can grow and everything. You want new players, not just the same ones who've been playing for the last 20 years on the PlayStation and Nintendo.
Yeah.
And she knows that, and that's why they hired her. She's a former PlayStation executive. She knows what they're doing. She knows the strategies, and she's there to make that change for Xbox in the Japanese market. And I feel like after ABK and with the growth of Minecraft in Japan alone, and ABK games with all their cloud service now being everywhere, the Japanese market is going to be ripe for the taking.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to the whole cultivating a new audience on a new platform. Like that's basically what's been these Japanese developers and publishers problem, is that they want to expand. It's just they don't seem to want to take the time to expand, because it's not going to be, oh, let's release one game on Xbox and it's going to sell massive. Like, no, it takes time. You have to release steadily on a new platform and rebuild that audience, because it's a new audience. Like, you're not going to make people automatically like associate Xbox with your game if that's the first game you're releasing on it. So that's the whole point. Like, they have to embrace Xbox and show that they do want to expand, and show the audience that, hey, you're on Xbox, you should invest in our games because we're going to release on Xbox. It doesn't, like, say, like with the Octopath Traveler. Yeah, the first one was on Xbox, but then the second one wasn't.
Yeah.
And on Game Pass, but then the second one wasn't until a year later. So it's like, if you do stuff like that, you're basically telling the Xbox audience, like, yeah, we don't really care about you. They're not going to buy your game, and then you're not going to expand. So you have to, or they have to, embrace the platform in order to grow. And I mean, we've seen it with Square Enix. They had Xbox, or they had Phil on their recent presentation or whatever it was on the stage, and they said that this is the start of a new partnership with Xbox, and we're going to bring all our games to the platform. And I hope that this goes for every other company that's been avoiding Xbox for whatever reason. It's all about expansion, and you have to embrace new horizons in order to expand. And that's really all it is. So she was just speaking the truth. It's basic. It's stuff.
Yeah, and it's great. You want more people to play your games. The Japanese market is a huge market. They have so many great games that we're just not able to get. In particular, Xbox only players. So like, if that market comes over to Xbox, they will sell. Like, look at Persona.
Eventually, eventually.
They're out there making bank because they've partnered with Xbox now. The Persona 5 sold out everywhere on Xbox. Even digital was selling out. Like, how do you sell out digital? Absolutely insane. Like, Yakuza and Persona are of course they're fantastic games, but this is just a glimpse of what the PlayStation market, the Japanese market, can do on Xbox. You can just look at Persona and Yakuza and the success that they're having with Xbox on Game Pass, and just not just on Game Pass, just bring it over to Xbox itself. You can see the potential growth there, and it's a win-win for gamers, for Xbox, for the Japanese market. It's a win-win.
More people playing your game is always a good thing.
Absolutely. And that's it. That's what we got for the news. That is everything.
All right. So that'll do it for us. Any parting words you want to say?
Don't trust Embracer.
That's pretty much. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Peace
out.